All right, so we are in the basement here in the most unrefined room in the house, and I got a bunch of stuff, and some of this stuff got displaced because there's been some moving of items in the house, and now it needs to find a new home. So I finally decided I'm gonna buy one of those put together shelving units. So I took the measurements, and what I was looking for was something that was 48 wide, 18 deep, and really the height, I could go up to 7, but 6 foot is what I found. And what I bought was an Edsal, Edsal steel storage rack. The model number is UR1848P-BLK because it's in black. So we'll go through some of the putting together of it. I won't do the whole thing just because it's a lot of repetition. And then hopefully we can get some of this stuff on the bench here cleared off. So here are the directions that came with the unit. This is how they came. This isn't out of frustration. So I purchased the unit through Walmart.com, and I looked at a similar unit in Menards online and also Amazon, and I thought that the Menards unit, which was the same model number, said that it was made in USA, and when I received mine from Walmart.com, it said made in Vietnam on the side of the box. So for whatever that's worth, that's kind of odd. I did check through everything when we pulled out the box, and we have the beams, the braces, posts, and then there's like particle board shelves, and we'll take a look at everything here in a second. So I made sure that we had everything according to what's on this sheet here. And then on the back side is actually how you put it together. You can kind of still read it, but if you got any type of mechanical know-how, it doesn't take much. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, I bought it from Walmart. I paid $58.62 that was shipped to the house, and this unit is set up for 4,000 pounds total at no more than 800 pounds a shelf, and of course that's going to be evenly dispersed on those shelves. Okay, so I got some of it already started here. So you got what they call beams, braces, and posts. So your posts are going to be these uprights. You're going to have 8 of those, and then these here are going to be those beams, and then the braces are the short ones. So these are like 17 something, and these are approximately 48 because the unit's 48 by 18 or whatever. So, and it's a pretty simple design, and I got some of these already locked in just so you can kind of see what it looks like, and we'll take a closer look at how these fit in. So you'll see there's a key slot, and the correct way to orientate this is to make sure that the large hole's at the top, and then you're going to push this, like, I don't know, I want to call it a pop rivet, but this tab through, and then you're going to need to slightly tap this into place. They say to use a hammer. I've been using a piece of cut off 2x4 because that's what I had down here. I didn't feel like running and getting a plastic hammer. Alright, so the basic idea is that you bring this through, and then this is going to slide down. Oops. It's going to slide down into these like key slots here. Now you can get most of them started like I have here, but then that's where you're going to want to tap this into place, and this is just the short brace just to kind of show you what it looks like here. So, and once it's locked in, it seems like they're pretty good. Like this one down here and then the one at the very bottom, that took some pretty good effort to get that seated, and once it's in there it seems like it's good. But I can tell you the first go around to get just the first level set, it's a little shaky, but once you get that in, then the rest of them go pretty quick, and I'm just kind of eyeing it up right now to get it even. Alright, so here's the shelf material. I thought it was 1/2 inch, or at least that's what it was described as. I'm getting a little less than 7/16, so it's pretty thin. There's not much there. Hopefully there isn't any issues with it bowing. If there is, you got a good template right here. You could get some nice plywood and make some heavy-duty shelves if you really wanted to. Okay, so here's where it's going to sit in the space, and the reason I wanted 18 was because it comes out right with my door here, so I can put this in it. The 48 is in between the other workbench that is covered with stuff, and then I got plenty of room to go all the way up So that'll be nice. Now I just ran into a problem. We're missing some pieces. And the funny thing is, when I read the comments on the Menards shelving unit, it said that the unit was missing pieces to connect the lower section to the top, and that customer service is not good. So here we are on step 3, and if we're reading through the directions here, we're making it up, and it says, place the couplers into the top of the bottom post in the bottom of the top post and tap down to properly seat. Couplers. Let's check our inventory list. And here's the inventory. We should have 5 shelves, 8 posts, 10 braces, 10 beams. No couplers. So how exactly is this supposed to couple together? I'm not sure. So after some time, I actually found, so it says down in your corner, Edsal Manufacturing. I looked it up, made in Vietnam, and there was a customer complaint line for customer service, and when I called it, it said for missing parts or hardware, press, and I was like, huh, that's funny. Well, that's exactly what I'm missing, hardware and parts. So anyway, I got a confirmation email and the UPS them out, and we'll take a look at the hardware. So this is it. This is the piece that we need here. This is the coupler. So this is going to couple the lower post to the upper post so that we have a nice unit. So that's good. That's what we're looking for. And they sent everything in a bag, but also in this bag, they sent these. And I'm like, oh, I know what these are for. These are feet. So they sent feet along, and it wasn't like this was individually packed. This was like a packet that should have been sent. And then this, I'm assuming, is probably a cap you put on the top of the post for the top of the shelf unit. So I don't know why it didn't come with it, but we're going to install it and hopefully get this thing put together now. Alright, so I just installed the 4 plastic feet here, which will be nice. And we'll take a look at that coupler here now. I got one on. So there's not much to it. You can tell on the top here how this is opened up. That's just going to slide over that post, and I just barely got it started, and then I took my 2x4 and I just kind of wrapped it down, and it has a stop. So once it hits this metal tab on each side, then you know you're bottomed out far enough. So we can do one here to show you. All right, so this is kind of the side view. So either way this thing can be installed. Boy, and this is in a bad spot here right next to the vise. So we're just going to kind of line that up. Like I said, you just kind of just get it started by hand a little bit. You might have to work it around a little bit. You're just getting the outside of the started there a little bit. I think we got it. So that looks like we got it. And then you just take your piece of 2x4 here. I don't know if this is what this is, spruce, maybe some pine. And then I just kind of tap it down, and the way I'm tapping it, it should take both sides down evenly. And it sounds like we're bottomed out. Maybe a little bit yet. Yep, there we go. We're bottomed out now. So you can see once it's bottomed out. I think the one over here, actually, I can go down a little bit yet. Yep. Then once it's down all the way, it just stops. So it's kind of a innovative type of deal. So that's a better shot of what I'm talking about. So you got your post is in here, and this is where the post stops because of these tabs. So you're just going to pound this down until the tab bottoms out on the top of the post, and then you know everything is seated. It does say in the instructions to make sure you have all those, I think it calls it rivets, those rivets through, and make sure they're all seated down. I'd imagine if you didn't have one, you loaded this thing up like it says, you probably would fall apart like a house of cards. Alright, so I got all the posts connected here and the couplers. We'll take a look at that. So the coupler here. So when you're bringing the top post in, you just start it again in this coupler and you pound it down until it hits the tab. So the tab will bottom out on the bottom one and the top one, and you want to make sure that it is all connected. And then when you get to this point, what I would suggest doing, depending on what you're using your unit for, kind of figure out where you want your levels here. So my bottom one, I'm thinking I'm going to fill with lanterns and maybe heavier items, just because I think that's what you're supposed to do. And then as you go up, I'll probably put the ashtrays and that type of thing. I don't know what the deal is with the ashtrays. It's a bad habit. I've been meaning to quit, but I just can't stop collecting them. I don't know. It's some sort of phobia, I think, or something. Alright, we'll show you one of the beams going in here. So with the beam, you're going to want to make sure that the groove part here is going to be on the outside of the shelving unit, and then also that the flat part here where the shelf is going to rest is facing up, because if you end for end this thing, it'll still go in, but then you don't have a place for the shelf, and then you have to take it apart and put it the correct way. Ask me how I know. So we're going to just slide those rivets through like that, and do that on each end, making sure that you got it at the same level. And then, like I said, I've just been using a piece of wood here, 2x4, to kind of make sure it's in place. Kind of keep a hand on it because it likes to bounce around, and then when it's in, it should be down in the bottom of that key slot there. Okay, so I have that one all seated all the way around. Now we'll throw a piece of particle board in here, and this is easier to do if you don't have any of the other shelves on or in place already. Ask me how I know. And we'll just set that into place. And this one looks like it fit in pretty good. I know the bottom two, I kind of had to work with it a little bit. Everything's very like flimsy and not quite true. There's just, everything's got a little bit of a tweak to it. So even when you're assembling everything, you might have to tweak it a little bit to get it into place. I know I read some comments about people saying, oh, it can't be put together, everything is this and that. You know, nothing was like bent in the shape of a U, but like these angle irons, or the posts as they call them, they're not exactly true, especially when you get to the ends. They're kind of opened up or narrowed. So when you're putting it all together, it kind of like forms itself together as you attach everything. Alright, so here it is. And it fits like a glove. Perfect. I may adjust this level here. I got a little bit more space. I wanted to leave a little from the top, so in case I want to put some coolers or maybe at the top there, something light that takes up a lot of space. That way I got enough room for that. The lantern should fit on the bottom two here, or even maybe just the bottom one. These lanterns are just the overflow anyway from the garage. But hopefully this will hold my ashtrays as well. So let's load it up and see what it looks like. Alright, so check it out. Workbench is almost cleaned off. Got a little bit of room on my pegboard there. I can shuffle some stuff around, that'll be nice. And this is what it looks like. So there's some random stuff I threw on here, but I got all the lanterns that I have that are overflow, and I got some room for others. Can probably use that second shelf here because that's just random stuff. And then I got the ashtrays on this, what would be third and fourth level here. So that works out nicely. And then at the very top, I got two Coleman coolers, which is nice, but I am kind of worried about pulling those down and then, you know, bumping something and having an ashtray fall down. But it's nice to have those off the floor. This unit does a nice job of getting everything off the floor and giving you a little more space. I don't know, we're starting to really pack in a lot of stuff here. So I thought about making my own like plywood and 2x4 shelving unit. Two things came to mind. One, pretty sure I couldn't build what I wanted to build out of 2x4 and plywood for 58 bucks, and it wouldn't be adjustable like this. So it's nice to have at least the option to be able to adjust it, so when your needs do change, it's just a matter of taking the stuff off, popping up, those braces and then just adjusting the shelf where you want it. So then I got to work on some lighting too. I've just been using these work lights to kind of illuminate. Works good. Like I said, this is an unfinished space, so I kind of just move the stuff around as I need to. Alright, so to wrap this up, I would recommend this. Like I said earlier, each shelf is rated for 800 pounds. That's evenly spaced, 4,000 total. You got 5 shelves times 8, that's 4,000 pounds. And this is 18 is going to be your depth, 48 will be the width, and 6 feet high is going to be your height. And I thought I'd try this out first to see how I like it. And I'm thinking about getting another unit that's actually 5 feet long instead of 4. And we might use that as like a makeshift pantry in the basement. So, alright, that's going to be it for now.